I opened my eyes quietly. At first, I felt confounded, but the worry vanished when I started to look around. I found out what place I was in. I was in a hospital, a big one. In front of the bed I was lying on, there was the nurse's office. The office was empty of anybody. The room I was in contained many other beds, and all of them were empty. There was an intense quietness washing over the place. I mostly didn't hear anything except for my breathing sound. I tried to concentrate on the last thing I could remember in order to figure out what I was doing here. The last thing I could remember was that I was driving my car, and after that, I couldn't remember anything. I felt nervous, so I started to yell loudly, "Is anybody there? Is there anybody in this place?" My voice was echoing in the space, but there was no response. I stood on the freezing ground, convinced that I was in good health and that there was no reason for me to remain in the hospital. I started to walk towards the nurse's office. Nobody called at me, and apparently none of them even noticed me. I looked everywhere inside the office. There was nobody there. I decided to continue walking till I could find someone who was able to explain to me what was going on. Suddenly, I heard a voice whispering my name. I turned slowly to look at the source of the voice. I saw something horrifying in front of my eyes, something that looked like a human but wasn't a human, and it stood there looking at me evilly. Suddenly, I felt some intense pain in my left arm, and when I looked at it, I found it bleeding, as if this terrible thing had smelled of blood. This thing's body was like that of an old woman. Its hair was strange, and it looked frightening. Its eyes were completely white, and its body was full of acne and abscesses. It was wearing a nurse's uniform, but there were stains of blood on it. While it was moving towards me, it opened its mouth, and its frightening sharp tusks and black tongue appeared. I was horrified and wasn't able to move. I tried, but before I could move, I found it running at me quickly, and it was only a few meters away from me. I had to do something, so I put my hand on the nurse's desk and searched for anything I could use as a weapon against it. I found a stapler, raised it, and yelled at it to step back. It stood for only one moment. And then it whispered my name in the same terrible voice and began moving closer to me. My heart slapped and was about to stop out of fear, so I yelled at it, saying that if it didn't get back, I would kill it. But it moved closer to me, and I had to do something. I raised my hands with the stapler in them, and I hit its head with all the strength that I had. I heard the crashing sound of her skull, and a black, vicious liquid started to leak from its head. I attacked it while it was lying on the ground, and I kept hitting it with the stapler like crazy. At this point, I started to calm down a little bit, and I stood over its dead body. I killed it. My body started to shiver out of fear. The stapler dropped out of my hand, and suddenly I heard somebody whispering my name again with the same terrible voice. When I looked at the voice source, I saw about 20 of these things standing together, looking at me angrily and moving towards me. And before I could do anything, they caught me and stopped me from moving when I suddenly felt something penetrating my neck. Then I fainted. When I opened my eyes, I was still in the hospital, but this time a lot of people were around me. I told myself that what happened must have been a bad dream, and I calmed down a little. I tried to move, but I couldn't. They had me roped in the bed, and a police officer stood in front of me, telling me that I was being held for murder. They showed me a video captured by the CCTV cameras in the hospital. I watched the video, and with every passing moment, I was getting closer to fully understanding what exactly happened. In the video, I stood up like a lost man, fearfully meditating in the room. I had IV fluid attached to my hand, and when I moved, the needle fell out of my hand, causing me to bleed. I started to walk to the nurse's office, A nurse came out of a side room when she felt that I got up from the bed. She called at me, saying my name, and told me to get back to my bed. But I was afraid, and my eyes were full of horror, so I backed up like crazy. She was approaching me, trying to calm me down, so I searched for something on the desk, held the stapler, and yelled at her. She got closer to me to try to calm me down, but I attacked her and hit her in the head till she died. The rest of the nurses heard the sound of the fight and came. They attacked me when they saw that I killed her. I looked at the policeman and I told him I didn't do so. Please believe me, there was a devil inside her that I saw. But he sarcastically smiled and advised me to call a good lawyer.
This is a true story. This person had an accident that caused him bleeding and a concussion, and he was moved to the hospital. But when he woke up, his subconscious decided to play a tough game with him. So he saw the nurse as a terrible monster. There was no prior enmity or even acquaintance between the injured and the nurse, so there was no compelling reason for the murder. But the question is, was what he told true, or did he just make it up to get away with his murder? Share with us your opinions in the comments.
Hello everyone, I hope you enjoyed the story. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and become a member of the Midnight Screams family. Also don't forget to like and share the video with your friends. And if you have a horror story or other terrifying experience, you can send it to the email address in the description. Wait for me every Sunday and Wednesday with a new animated story, and activate the bell button to receive all new updates. I love you so much. Have a nice day.